Welcome back to SCV Today, and of course, relationships are huge, and there's none better than Tammy and I. And then she laughs.
That's so funny.
I'm so used to that kind of reaction with women.
When they laugh? When
Yes.
you reveal things?
When I express my feelings,
they laugh.
and then I get that kind of reaction. Look at that face there. That's what I see all the time, right there. Just
that's
laughter.
Funny. You're funny, Dave Caldwell.
Thank goodness we have Dr. Drew Yellen to join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, this is really exciting. We've been talking about this in the office for the last couple of weeks as we've been getting ready for you to come in. Former coach and a high school teacher, got your psychology degree.
Correct.
Now you are a practicing psychologist. Tell us about the inspiration for what you have created, this app.
First year I'm teaching, I was teaching health class. And it was one of the first classes, and I was only about 5 years older than my seniors at that time. So I'm in a health class, and a girl says, right before the bell rings, says, "So coach, how do we know if we're in a good relationship?" So the bell rang, saved me. Went home that night, scribbled stuff on a napkin, worked out some crude formulas and stuff like that, said to my wife, "What do you think about this?" She said, "Oh, it's interesting." Okay. So that was the impetus. We're talking about 40 plus years ago. And so I used it to kind of explain, well, you know, what are you looking for? Because that's one of the mistakes people make in relationships. It's like, what are you looking for? What do you want in a relationship? So when I transitioned into psychology, doing a lot of couples and relationship kind of therapy, then what happened is I realized people really don't know. People that are coming in with problems are coming in because they don't know what they want. They've never identified it. So it began that way, and over the course of about 30 years then, it evolved, and I used a different form of it and format and everything. And then when apps came out, my business partner, Tom Ward, and I thought, wow, this would really work well if we could do this so everybody can use this. And so we started on that course about 3 years ago of coding, and it's a little over a week that it's been in the App Store, and we have plans for the Android store in different languages and everything.
And it's called the Love Shopping List.
Love Shopping List.
How did you come up with that title to help people to understand what it is that they want from a partner? Well,
one of the things that we thought about, it was somebody had mentioned in the office, we're talking about when you go out for a relationship, somebody had said, what are you really shopping for? What do you really want? And so that triggered something off, and Tom's wife came up with the logo idea, which is a red heart in a white shopping cart on the inside, and we thought, wow, that's really it. And you know, when you go to a store, you go with a list, and you take your little cart, and you start putting stuff in that's on your list. And so it was just kind of a natural progression of what we decided. We went, wow, the name fits perfectly. It says exactly what it is.
You know, I tested out the app, and what I found so unique about it, because I went into it fresh, knowing nothing about it, how much I learned about myself, first of all, that I didn't realize about myself. Just in pointing out, you pick the top 15 things that you're looking for in a mate, and picking the things out, I was learning things about myself, what's important to me, and almost where I'm at in my life, and starting thinking like if somebody was looking, how somebody would rate me as a human being. And it was so eye-opening. And so if I wish I would have had this when I was 19 years old, because it would have changed.
We were all a lot smarter when we go back and
I actually did a little test on there and did my list, and then compared it to my first husband, and yeah, you could have saved me 5 years of my life.
We've actually had, a lot of people have said that over the course of time, what we were able to do, because as a psychologist doing this kind of therapy, was like we had our own real life lab. So over the course of the 3 years that we're working on this, I actually used it with people, and I explained to them we're developing an app, would you like to take this because it might help? And they said, sure. And so we would take it, and we would be able to see these patterns with people, and exactly what you're saying, it's, wow, I never realized we have that. We have a great couple, without mentioning names. They were married June 23rd. The woman was in a relationship with somebody, left him for somebody else, and came in and was just not doing well. And she ran it, and of course you can run it on multiple people, and she ran it on both, and the man she was in a current relationship with scored really low, and the man that she prior relationship scored really high, and she left and she called the current one off and called the other one and said, will you have me back? And he said, I'm waiting with open arms, and they were married June 23rd.
Wow.
That's a great Santa Clarita story.
Now, I think it's very important.
That is a great story.
Yeah, I think it's very important to make certain of the differentiation, because what you're offering is not what Match.com or eHarmony and any of those things do. What you're doing is, this is something that you take yourself, and as Tammy was saying, to be as honest and as truthful with yourself as possible for what you're looking for, and then to have those answers also, separately, if I'm understanding right, with the person that you're currently with, or would be with.
It's very compatible with any of the matchmaking sites. I mean, we're not in competition with them. They will match people. What we think is the power in this is that it empowers individuals to make their own decisions. So the fact that somebody says, well, you two are compatible, okay, that's fine that somebody else says that, or you came up on a computer that way. But if I'm really going to a relationship, I want to know for me that I've done an honest job and I will make the final decision on what's going on. And that's really what this does, is it empowers the user to make really good relationship decisions.
And I also said in the opening that it takes, when you have your family member saying, just not right for you, you know, that girl is not the right girl for you. And what does that mean? That means when you're in love and blah, it doesn't mean anything. But when you have it in front of you and you've put down your criteria, and then you realize that this person doesn't meet these criteria, and it's right there and it's explaining to you why, it's eye-opening. You've told yourself that person's not right for you.
The bottom category is labeled, what were you thinking? And then each one of the categories has an expanded explanation of it. And that bottom category basically says that. It's like, you know, this person scored really poorly. Why would you go against what's in your heart if you've really been honest with all the characteristics? Why would you go against what your mind and your heart are telling you and just throw that to the wind and say, well, I'm going to do this anyway?
Have you ever had people who are scoring low, you know, where basically based on the scores, they should not be together, who just absolutely say, no, the heck with that. We're staying together no matter what, and we're going to prove this wrong? I'm sure you have.
Yes.
Does it work?
They're great customers.
Does it work?
They become great
They keep coming back.
For the marriage and family therapy.
Does it work in terms of
the relationship?
The relationship? I think at the beginning what happens is if they see those things that they don't like, the question is, are they committed to any of the changes of the things that bother the other individual or that the other individual wants? So, you know, you were talking about before, like somebody being in shape. If it really bothers you, okay, that's something you have control over. If it really bothers you, I'm out of shape, and that's something that's really important to you, then I want to do that. That's what relationships are about. Not necessarily that it's important to me, but if that's important to you, then I'll do that. You know, if it's important to you that I get up and run 2 miles every day, and that's something that's really important, okay, I can do that. So it depends on the two individuals and what kind of commitment they make to change.
But it's easier to point out the things that need to be changed with this versus someone just saying, you don't hug me enough. This thing will say, you know, compassion and things like, you know, I forget what word it had there for, you know, for touchy-feely stuff, you know, and it pulls it out of there without you having to literally hit them over the head with it.
And we've got the way that we've got it set up. Individuals can type in characteristics. We've got something called the category cloud, which is pretty unique. We're proud of it. It's kind of floating categories, and each one of the categories, when you tap on it, has a sub-list of characteristics. So if you can't think of stuff, it's an ideal way to say, well, personality characteristics, physical characteristics, and it prompts you, you know, what about religion? What about political bent? What about all these different things? Oh, well, yeah, I didn't think about that. That's really important. And the nice thing is you can change this at any time. You can go back and look at the list and go, I forgot about that. That is really important to me. So I'm going to go back and change the list. And then, of course, when you change the list, then you got to go back and rescore the individual because they may not come out as high, or they may come out higher than what you originally thought.
Dr. Drew Yellen, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The app, once again, it's called the Love Shopping List. And
It's only $5, by the way.
$4.99.
$4.99. That's even cheaper than $5.
$4.99, and that's a one-time.
One time.
$4.99.
If you need more information about that, of course, you can always go to our website, scvtoday.com. We'll be able to get that information to you and direct you over to the Love shopping list. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Eye-opening.
having me.
And what's going to be fun is that Tammy and I, a little bonus for you, that's going to be online only, Tammy and I are going to take the test to see how compatible we are.
I can give you the answer right now.
Uh-oh.
OJ and Nicole.
Wow, that's harsh. Woo. When we come back, the president of Help the Children, Roger Presgrove, is going to join us, so stay tuned.